All right, everybody, welcome once again to TFT Tarot for Today, Divine Dabblings with Oberon and Banshee, and it's me, Oberon, with my outlook on the emotional exchanges. It's a short reading for each sign of the Zodiac. I just basically pull 3 cards, and I'm looking at 2 or 3 different concepts here. The first one is, what is the emotional tone or feel for the week? The second one is the emotional rescue. What is your emotional rescue for the week? And that could be almost anything. It could be a person or situation or thing that kind of comes to your aid, gives you emotional good feelings, that kind of thing. It could represent an actual person who is your friend or ally and possibly what they might be doing. And then the third card is just a yes or no. Will someone say, I love you, to you this week? All right, so we're going to move on and start with our first sign of the Zodiac, Aries. Sun, Moon, or Rising. All right, the emotional tone for the week is the Page of Wands. So there's something invitational going on maybe for you this week. You might feel you're being invited to a date or to meet up with people or things like that. It seems very friendly. It could be about, a letter of friendship coming, email or otherwise, to you to indicate, friendliness and or, getting together kind of thing. So what's the emotional rescue? If you're really feeling emotionally down this week, what's going to come to your rescue or aid? And it's yourself. It's the Empress. You are your emotional rescue this week. I hope you don't mind that. But what this card says, I think, is that when you're going to need that bit of self-care or some strokes, something to really make you feel you're worthwhile, you really can only mostly count on yourself. I mean, I don't think that this doesn't mean others won't. Maybe you model behavior, and so other people will also realize that this is how we should all treat each other. We should all be each other's emotional rescuers. So finally, Aries, will someone say, I love you this week? No. It's a sword card, and we're going with the regular, yes or no based on the suits or the major arcana. Swords means no. And the King of Swords indicates that maybe the personality or energy behind that sort of feels like they're just sort of waiting to see how things develop before they might wish to deliver those sweet words, I love you. So better luck next week, Aries. It's not altogether a washout. Let's move on to Taurus then, and that's Sun, Moon, or Rising. And by the way, what I mean by that is, like, if Taurus could be your sun sign, but other people or yourself may have certain, moon or rising going on in that sign too. So for each sign, whether you are the sun, moon, or rising sign, this reading could have an effect for you. So Taurus, we once again ask that question then, is what is the emotional tone or feel for this week? And it's the reverse 7 of Pentacles. And I think this is saying you are moving ahead with something that, excuse me, you're moving ahead. It's 7 of Pentacles reversed with something. And of course, because this is about relationships, this reading, this may be saying that either in a particular relationship, it could be your primary one or it could be a new one, you're kind of working with what you feel the seeds that have been sown are producing up to this point. So this looks like a work in progress. You're trying to put your attention, care, devotion, etc. on some relationship, either the one you have or the one you're working on. Now, what is your emotional rescue for the week? And it's the Queen of Cups. Your emotional rescue could be somebody who loves you unconditionally, somebody who you feel is solid with their emotions. They're not overly cloying. They're not underly attentive. They are, the perfect person for you. It could be somebody like your best friend. It could be somebody like your soulmate. It could be somebody like the person you truly love the most, at least in this point in time. Will someone say, I love you this week? And it's Pentacles. It's the Queen of Pentacles. So it means yes, but it will come with a price. And, so that could be saying, the Queen of Pentacles, well, in some ways, she represents that idea similar to the Empress, that sometimes people have to take care of themselves. And so the price you pay may be making sure you take care of that person that you are hoping will say, I love you. Or you will take care of them when they, in fact, do say, I love you. All right, let's move on to Gemini then. Sun, Moon, or Rising. Gemini, Sun, Moon, or Rising. What is the emotional feel for this week for you? And nothing but good. It's the Star. You feel a great sense of hope or destiny. You feel really like a sense of things are kind of coming to a completeness or to a brilliance that you really, have been looking forward to. What is your emotional rescue this week? And it's Judgment. And the emotional rescue may be the sense that there's an epiphany that's going to happen, a realization that you feel that will be the thing that basically works to save you or to rescue you from yourself, from your own bad emotional excess. It may be the feeling that you didn't have to do things the way you did, and resolving that will bring forgiveness or will bring something new or better to the table. So look for that. Your emotional rescue will be about an epiphany. Will someone say, I love you? It's Swords, so I don't think so. But oddly enough, it's the reverse Three of Swords, and that's saying that maybe heartbreak begins to recover, that broken hearts heal or feel better about a situation that has hopefully moved away. And so it's a sword saying that maybe no one will love you, but at least there is the idea that you are recovering from whatever this pain or heartache is. I'm sorry about that, Geminis. So let's move on to our next sign, Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And if I seem distracted, it's my little friend Shadow has appeared. She's down under the table, but she's trying desperately to get my attention, and I would love to pet her. I don't know how she got in because I thought the door was closed, but she did. She's here, and I will have to deal with it. All right, so Cancer, what is the emotional feel for the week? And it's the reversed Ten of Swords. And this may be saying there's sort of a sense of feeling like you reversed a bad situation. I mean, like if maybe there was some really bad thing that was going to happen to the relationship, maybe there was an 11th hour save. The feel may be feeling like that's what this week is about, is trying to save or repair a bad situation. And it's the reverse of the Ten of Swords, and the Ten of Swords is kind of like you're defeated, you're betrayed, you're stabbed in the back. This could be saying the emotional feeling is that there's a sense of being able to not let this happen or to recover from it if it did happen. All right, so what is your emotional rescue? And it's the reverse Ten of Cups. And the reverse Ten of Cups can only mean one thing here. It probably means the realization that sometimes love doesn't work out the way you want, that the unconditional, happy forever love, maybe you're accepting the idea that that's not necessarily going to happen for you exactly that way. And so that rescue is sort of attached to the fact that you've grown up in a way. You had your own epiphany in a way too, that this is the way it is. And it sounds kind of bleak, but maybe realizing that is what really helps you kind of meet the levels and move on. All right, so will someone say, I love you? And it's Wands. So it means you'll have to work at it. And it's the Two of Wands, which of course looks like, exploring a new world, in a way, like sort of deciding, I like things now, but I want to move towards even more. And of course, that means what your heart wants too. So I think you'll have to work at that, to show somebody you love them enough for them to say, I love you. All right, Cancer. We'll move on to Leo then. Sun, Moon, or Rising. Hey, sweetie down there. Hello. Hello. Give you a little scrunch down there. All right, Leo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. What's the emotional feel for the week? It's Justice. And Justice could be saying, like, hey, the feel for the week maybe is like, let's do this legal. Let's get married. Let's formalize or come to an agreement about our relationship or our situation. So the emotional feel, I think, is about fairness and really looking at the facts of maybe your relationship or your emotional life and deciding it's fair, it's happy, and you care for it. Now, what is your emotional rescue for this week if things are blue at all? And it's the reversed Four Swords. And I think your emotional rescue is you realizing you can come back from whatever it is that laid you out, especially if it was emotional, if it's like some super blue skies were sort of drifting off to dark purple. You're the one who can take care of that. You can do that. You just have to realize it starts from in here. It starts from within your heart, the healing you need, the feeling that you are recovering from bad heartaches or situations. It's really going to be on you. Just like Aries had in the beginning. So will someone say, I love you, Leo? And yes, but you'll have to work at it. You'll probably have to show them that you're sticking with them, that even if opportunities could pull you apart, you're planning to stick around and not necessarily go somewhere without that person being able to go with you. I like that. All right, Leo, we'll move on to Virgo. Virgo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. What's the emotional feel for the week? The Hierophant. And so once again, there's this sign that maybe somebody says, let's make it legal, or let's formalize our relationship. Let's formalize some good emotions between us. This could also be saying too, like, we want to work on this exactly as it is, and we don't want to get too distracted with way out of things. So no, we're not going to plan a weird elopement. No, we're not going to run off to Niagara Falls, Las Vegas, or somewhere, that doesn't really fit our personality or our sense of being. We're going to do this in a very conventional way, whatever that is, in terms of, kind of going along with formalizing that heart agreement in some way. So what's your emotional rescue? It's the Five of Pentacles. It's upright. So the emotional rescue could be that you realize, you have to find for yourself that place where you are accepted, that place where no one can say, you can't come in here. You have to keep looking for what it is you need to find, but it's there. This card says that. It is there. There is a light. It's not over at the Frankenstein place, but it is shining brightly for you, and you just have to see it and walk towards it. All right, Virgo, will someone say, I love you? I'm sorry. It's the Six of Swords. So it's probably not going to happen this week. It may be that either one of you maybe have to move away from an immediate troublesome situation. It might change in the future, but it doesn't look like it will happen this week, Virgo. I'm sorry. And we're going to move on to Libra now, Sun, Moon, or Rising. All right, Libra, what is the emotional tone or feel for the week? And it's Seven of Pentacles, and so the tone of the week is sort of like, take it easy, do it the right way, plan this well. I think this is saying appreciating where you think you have started with this and realizing that at some point you may have to pick up the energy to move it along, but right now you're off to a good start. That's the emotional feel, is things are off to a good start. Don't forget to take care of it as it moves along. What is your emotional rescue this week? And it is the Star reversed. So the Star reversed could be saying you feel rescued when you realize that sometimes you just have to accept the destiny you have and to not be overly excited or underly excited, and you may be surprised. It may not be exactly what you want, or at least in this next week, your destiny sort of feels a little rocky, and so you need to have a form of acceptance of that. Will someone say they love you? And it's good luck, because it's a major arcana, so good luck means it's maybe, but it's the Chariot reversed, and the Chariot reversed could be saying somebody is thinking about retreating. So if you're in a game of love right now where people's feelings are shifting a lot for whatever reasons, this may not be the week that will happen, but I don't think that hope is completely lost, Libra, so good luck with that. And we'll move on now to Scorpio. Did I do that right, Banshee? Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising. This reading is for you. What is the emotional feel or tone for Scorpio? It's the Five of Cups. That's upright. But the Five of Cups says, Scorpios, you may be feeling a sense of loss. And part of it is that maybe the sense is so strong that you're not able to realize what still can remain, the remains at the end of the day, that kind of thing. And so your emotional feel is kind of like mixed. It's melancholy. You're mourning what you lost without necessarily realizing what you still have. And as a Scorpio myself, I'll say, boy, that does sure fit. So Scorpios, what's your emotional rescue? It's the Page of Cups. And the Page of Cups is kind of like a watery, emotional kind of personality, but it could also be a message. It could be a message saying that harmony and trust is coming to you if you seek them, that remain open to possibilities, that understanding the newness of things in terms of a philosophy or poetry of your romantic or other life will be important for you now. There still could be a message coming. Pages can be messages. So, Scorpio, will someone say I love you? And it's maybe good luck, because it's Judgment reversed, a major arcana. But Judgment reversed may be indicating that we're not understanding what needs to change. We're not able to progress in a better direction with certain things. So applied to that concept of somebody loves you, maybe Scorpio, you've been a little bit edgy and weird and stuff, and nobody would want to say I love you because you're just kind of bizarre this week. So get it right, and maybe next week will be better, my friend Scorpio. And we'll move on to Sagittarius now. Sun, Moon, or Rising. Sagittarius, what is the tone or feel for the week? Bam! It's the Two of Cups. Sagittarius, the stars are right for you. If there's someone special, this is that week. You're cuddling, you're emoting together, you're harmonizing, and you're feeling love and trust. If you're not in a relationship, this could mean that, it's going to be about a very special friend of yours or somebody in your family that you really care for. Maybe you're not in love with them in a romantic way, but it could be extreme harmony and friendship. So, what's the emotional rescue for Sagittarians? It's family. It's the Ten of Pentacles upright. And if you've been feeling like you need a rescue, emotionally speaking, from what's going on in your life, look to your family. People that are close to you love you, or they at least like you a lot, and that makes a big difference these days. So check out family relationships. Maybe you have a cousin, a sibling, a grandparent, an aunt or an uncle, a niece or nephew that would love to hear from you. So you never know. Will someone say I love you? And I think so. You might have to work at it. It's the Two of Wands. Wands means you have to work at it. But the Two of Wands, not totally dissimilar from the Two of Cups, can be about a new relationship, a new situation. It could be about exploring things together in a way, finding that challenge to what you want to do next. All right, Sagittarians. Let's move on to Capricorn then. And Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And the tone is change. The emotional tone is change. It's death. There's a big, big change coming to you, perhaps. It could be about you thinking about who it is you really care about or who it is you really want to care about. It could be about a big change to relationship that isn't necessarily great news. Whatever it is, it's a sweeping change. It's a big change. It's likely to be around for even longer than this week, I think. What is the emotional rescue? And that's a major arcana, the Fool. The emotional rescue is perhaps saying, trust your instincts, and don't be afraid to try something different that maybe really is what you need to pull you out of a situation. If maybe the change situation is really dramatic and all-encompassing, don't be afraid to trust your instincts and to maybe take that little step forward that might make your change better. So Capricorn, will someone say I love you? And it's a sword card, so probably not. It's the Four of Swords. I think this is saying that maybe somebody loves you, but they're recovering themselves, or they're not around right now because maybe they're giving you time and space to recover or to work ahead. So I think, once again, next week is probably going to be better for that, Capricorn. Good luck. And we'll move on to Aquarius now. Sun, Moon, or Rising. I think I want one more this time. All right, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising. What is your emotional feel or tone this week? It's the Hanged Man. So you're hanging around. You're maybe hoping that, some connection happens. See the cell phone there. But it may not be likely to happen unless you're willing to hang up the phone and do something in real time. In this case, the hangman is a metaphor for somebody maybe who's not ready to make a commitment. They really are thinking about it. They're maybe thinking of how it orders or purposes their life. But in order to really engage with that, they're going to have to hang up. All right, so Aquarius, what's your emotional rescue for the week? It's the Three of Swords. You might be better getting far away from this. This is sort of saying there's some real heartache going on, or a breakup, and maybe your emotional rescue is realizing that, as painful as this may be, whoever this is, however this is, it rescues you from something. Maybe it was something that really was ultimately damaging or hurting you. I mean, I'm not necessarily talking about a relationship with a person, but maybe it was your relationship with something else that was just toxic for you. Overeating, over drinking, over something else, or under something else. You are better off getting away from that. It will rescue you. Will someone say, I love you, Aquarius? It will come with a price. It's the Eight of Pentacles. Pentacles means it will come with a price. But the Eight of Pentacles says that price could just be really working together, planning it, looking through the tools you have. What is in your toolbox for relationships, this one in particular. You just have to maybe be sure of what you're doing and do it as well as you can. So good luck with that, Aquarius. And now we'll move on to our final reading for Pisces. Sun, Moon, or Rising. So Pisces, what is your emotional tone or feel for the week? I'm sorry, Pisces, it's the Tower. Your emotional tone may feel like, in order for it to get better, you're going to have to break it down and try to figure out how to put it back together better. You're feeling like there's some lessons you need to learn here about what is falling apart, something you've constructed or a relationship that mattered, and there may be a lot you need to learn here. And so the emotional feel says, buck up to that. You will get better on the other side of it. What is your emotional rescue? The fact that love exists. Love will exist. Love is continuing to exist. That maybe love exists in a new form somehow. A new beginning. That's your emotional rescue. And it could mean that it is about a specific person or kind of situation. But more likely, I just sort of think it's really important, Pisces, for you to realize that love exists in your life, no matter how you see it or otherwise. It may be a challenge to find it. Will someone say, I love you, Pisces? And it's good luck, but I think it's possible because it's a major arcana, so it's the Empress. And maybe what you really need to consider is you saying to yourself, I love you. Because that's what the card can be, is really a lot about self-care. Care for yourself, and everything else is going to figure itself out. So I just want to believe that for you, Pisces, and for all of you. And I'll just take a moment to say thank you for coming to my show. I really appreciate that. Don't forget to watch our happy hour. It's on tomorrow at 10 a.m. It's a live show. We pull a card for everybody that shows up in the chat. We're only there for an hour, so get there early or you'll miss your chance. But it's a one-card pull that gives you positivity and possibly a divine message for the week ahead. Don't forget to watch Banshee's Material Matters. She does for your material matters, economics, finance, what I have done here for emotional life. So check it out. It is live for the chat room, this recorded reading, so we can still gather there, chat with me or Banshee about the reading or anything we want to. And then later on, Sunday afternoon from 2 to 4 p.m., our regular live stream. We hope you check that out. We answer any question we can possibly answer from 2 to 4 p.m. So that's it, everyone. Thank you for coming, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.